Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Start hour number 2 with Matthew Brune, part of the Bengal Tiger over there on 3. Joins us quite often talking some basketball, baseball, recruiting, and the like. He joins us now, talk a little LSU football on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Matthew, how are you?
What's up, Hunt? That was a great ad read. It made me very hungry. I wanted to go there. So
Corks is
I'm
very
good.
good. Jefferson between Foster and no government between Foster and Jefferson, right here in Baton Rouge. Let's talk some football here. You wrote a piece over at the Bengal Tiger. 5 guys you believe in entering LSU's 2024 fall camp, and number one, the first one, caught me a little by surprise because as you write in the piece, many people starting to sell a little bit here, but it's Shelton Sampson. The former 5-star wide receiver from right here in in Baton Rouge at Catholic High. Why the belief in Shelton Sampson?
Yeah, like you said, this is a Louisiana guy who was a highly rated recruit out of Catholic, and I think we've always known he's had the tools. We've always known he's had the frame. I think the first year kind of caught him off guard in terms of the physicality, in terms of how skilled technically you have to be, and he just was a ways away from, I think, contributing last year. He obviously had the 2 drops. I believe they were both in that Army game that could have been touchdowns, which maybe would have changed some people's perceptions, but he dropped those balls. And in the spring, I was still waiting for him to pop. He never really did. So I can completely understand, people putting him on the back burner, basically saying that, all right, well, he didn't work out or whatnot. But I think there's just too much to work with here to sell him. I think he didn't transfer out, so he still sees a path to working on his game and potentially playing. And I just think this year he'll get on the field some. I'm not saying he's going to be a huge playmaker, but I think 2025, Sampson especially, will be a big-time player.
How do you think those reps shake out in fall camp? There's kind of Kyron Lacey and the rest of the crew, even though the veteran transfers are thought to be kind of right there behind him. How do you figure that's going to work itself out?
Yeah, I think Kyron Lacey is the clear-cut number one here. Hilton and Daniels will rotate in and around. Like those 3 will all rotate around at the outside receiver spot. I think maybe some of them flirt with the slot position like Malik Neighbors did last year. But I'm still really high on Xavier Thomas. Obviously, the transfer from Mississippi State. I think he has a lot of ability to be versatile for this offense. We've seen, Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton like players like that. So those are like the 4 that you start with, and then you kind of work your way back from there. And that's where you could get a Shelton Sampson, you could get Kyle Parker, Kylan Billiot, the freshman, and Aaron Anderson. So I like the depth a lot more this year than last year. Obviously, they didn't need depth last year, but I think that they're just well suited in the 2 deep and 3 deep now.
Next guy on your list is Jordan Gilbert, transferring from Texas A&M at safety. Saw him a little bit in the spring and in the spring game. What's your belief in there?
Yeah, another guy people started to sell after the spring game because the defense was still really bad in that game, and specifically him and Sage Ryan did not look comfortable against the run. There were busted coverages, so I understand the hesitation there. I just think go back to 2 years ago when he started the full season at Texas A&M, he was really solid. He made a lot of plays in coverage. I think even last year he only played 2 games, but I went back and watched those 2 games. I think he showed a lot of potential in terms of coverage ability. The problem is LSU with him and Sage Ryan, you don't really have one true guy who can come down and crash the run and one guy as a coverage player. I look at both of them as more so coverage guys. So I'm not sure exactly how Blake Baker and them are going to work that out, but I'm still buying Gilbert's talent. I'm still high on him as a coverage guy with good range.
Next up on the list is a guy, look, if LSU's defense is going to make some strides, some guys are going to have to break out and become potential stars. And this is one guy with the potential to do that. It's Deshaun Womack on the edge of the defensive front. What do you think about Womack in his second year at LSU?
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I agree 100%. This defense needs players to break out. It can't just be like the 3 players we know are good and that's it. Womack has to get on the field a lot, and he has to make a lot of plays. Obviously, last year was a learning process. I know people remember the highlights, but he was on the field for a lot of some games, and he didn't make many plays. So he has to get more consistent. I think the defensive line coach with Kevin Peoples off the edge will be huge for him. I think we see him and Savion Jones and Braden Swinson all share the field sometimes. I think there will be specific pass rushing packages with them, and I think that's really exciting. But yeah, he's just an awesome athlete, former 5-star for a reason, just an awesome player in terms of his athleticism. So I'm buying Womack. I think he's going to have a huge year.
Let's pivot a little bit from your list here. A name you just mentioned is Savion Jones. Is there reason to believe that he could take another step this year? I was kind of hoping last year, taking over for Ojulari, he'd be like the next guy to kind of break out. It was like Chason to Ojulari, and then, oh, here comes Savion Jones, and it didn't really appear to happen. Is there reason to think it could happen this year?
Yeah, I do. I do think there's a reason. I think he's trimmed down a little bit. Last year was, first of all, the entire staff and the defense was just such a mess that I think he bulked up a little bit too much to be that strong side defensive end. Now, obviously, that's necessary to a degree when he needs to stop the run, but he kind of went too far in one direction. So I think he slims down a little bit. I think he becomes more of a dynamic pass rusher this year. He has the experience. I think now he has the experience against the run, so he can play all three downs. And I think Jones is a good bet to be a good player for them. I'm not sure how high his ceiling is, but I think he's definitely going to be a good player.
And the last one on your list of players you believe in entering fall camp is center DJ Chester. Everybody else around him is pretty stagnant. He's got to be inserted in there for Charles Turner. What do you think?
Yeah, he's physically just ready. I think 6'5", 6'6", over 300 pounds. He's just incredibly strong. Loved him out of high school. And the main question here, and we talked to him during spring camp, the main question is obviously he's young, 3 years younger than Charles Turner, and Charles Turner was one of the smartest players and one of the best communicators on the entire offense last year, really the last 2 years. So now you're replacing that with a sophomore that is going to have to not only learn everything, but be quick to call out everything. I think it helps a lot that he has 4 returners around him, so it takes a lot of pressure off of him. But ultimately, he's still the center. He's going to have to be consistent. But I think he does raise the ceiling of this offensive line. There were times last year where the traditional run game just didn't really get a push in the middle specifically, and I think this year he can provide that more so.
Of the list we just brought forward for that you put Shelton Sampson, Javian Toviano, Jordan Gilbert, Deshaun Womack, and DJ Chester, who do you feel the best about as we enter this season? I
probably feel the best about DJ Chester.
Okay.
I think if DJ Chester is as good as I think he can be, this is the best offensive line in the country. It might still be, even if he's just average, but if he's really good, this offensive line can then run the ball in a variety of ways. It can get a push in the middle. I just think that makes life easy on Nussmeier. It makes life easy on the offense. If he's really good, this is a top 5 offense in the country.
We'll talk with you real soon, Matthew. Football season right around the corner. Thanks for your time. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Hunt. Anytime.
Thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.